Welcome to the Joy in the Dark podcast. I'm your host, Joy Felicity, and this is my co-host, Sophie Isadora. And we are here to talk about the second part of our Midsummer Night Dream weekend in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes. Yes. A lot of the reason why we broke this up into two episodes because the ball was such a huge event, but we didn't want to leave out any of the other auxiliary events that we had over the weekend because they were just as exciting and well attended. And we wanted to make sure to include those as well because when we do throw an event, we throw an event and we like to encompass a lot of things that go with it to make sure you get to meet people, you get to reconnect with people, you get to experience some new things that maybe you haven't tried before. So it's kind of an all-inclusive package, if you will, when we have an event. So we're going to talk about that in this episode, all the other little extras from the weekend.
The first event that started off our fantasy weekend was high tea. And we had it at the London Tea Room, which is a beautiful, beautiful tea house that is located in downtown St. Louis.
Yep.
And it is run by some brothers. And they were very sweet. And their family is from London, from
Yes.
England. So family business. They get all of their tea imported from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just absolutely lovely to have them host us. They gave us
It
a private
was.
room. They gave us a long table. I had asked to have a banquet style table rather than small tables. I thought it would be a nice opportunity for everybody to get to know each other at
Yeah.
the table. And the spread was so beautiful,
So
so
beautiful.
beautiful. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things that we had there?
So first off, they started bringing out some different teapots, and there was a variety of teas that were given to each section of the table. So you could try, I believe, up to as many as 5 or 6 different teas. They were all amazing, the ones I tried. There was your basic teas, your Earl Grey. I believe there was an English breakfast tea. But the two that really stood out to me, there was a mango tea that was delicious. If you like fruity teas, so good, so flavorful. And then there was another one that was really unique. It was a strawberry milk tea, and it was also so delicious. And it just had a creaminess to it. It was amazing. I had never had a tea that tasted like that. So it was very unique, very original. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. So you've got your choices of about 5 or 6 teas that they bring you in color coordinated teapots. So if someone down at your other end of the table has their dark blue teapot, you know that they still have the mango tea and you guys can kind of trade accordingly if you needed to. That came in handy. But that is what we started with. And then slowly but surely came our tiered plates of treats and edibles. So a variety of things on there as well.
And this was a high tea because there were savory
There were
levels.
savory
So the
levels.
bottom was the meal. So it had
Mhm.
some sandwiches and they had
There was a curry sandwich.
chicken
Hmm.
curry. There was a cucumber limerick sandwich.
Yes.
Um, I don't remember all of the others. Mine were a little different because I was
There,
different
I don't
each
remember
time.
what the third one was, but that was the one I ate first. It was
And
great.
salmon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So the difference between a high tea and an afternoon tea means that there is going to be a small meal. It's not going to be a large meal, but it's a small meal. So there was enough there to feed yourself and be satisfied with the sandwiches that they provided.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, when you're at a high tea, there might be a soup option.
Hmm.
There might be some savory hors d'oeuvres. then there were scones as well.
There was an amazing scone, complete with the, lemon curd and the creamed butter? No,
Clotted
clotted
cream,
cream, yes.
yeah. It's the next staple. Mhm.
Life-changing, delicious.
It's hard to get a good clotted cream, and since they're traditional
Mhm.
London style, they had, imported clotted cream, so it was really nice to have that.
Yes, yes, and I know some of our, tea attendees had some little takeaways with them with they had little jars of the lemon curd, and so the ones that weren't used, people quickly
And
swooped
they
up.
were
They were
so cute.
so cute.
On the inside of the caps too had little messages like a fortune
Oh,
cookie, and they were
no, I
really
missed that.
cute. Yeah, like and they were little fortunes, like, you will find something that brings you passion, or, you know, keep trying, the good things are coming. It was like all really
I
cute
love
little
that.
stuff on the bottom,
That's a
and
nice little
I didn't even
surprise.
notice it either, and then someone was asking me, "What's on the bottom of your
That's
jar?" And I
so
was like, "I didn't
cool.
even open my jar."
Yeah. Oh man. I wish I would have
Yeah,
seen mine then.
yeah.
And then we had our top tier, which was our like sweet treats.
Mhm.
There was an Earl Grey macaron. There was a Turkish delight, and there was a oof, you had a chocolate something on yours.
Gluten free,
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't know what it was. I didn't consume it. There was like a cheesecake or something too, right?
There was something that had dairy in it. I didn't have that one
Some
either.
kind of like
Yeah.
cake, like a mousse cake.
I was full by the
Yeah.
time I got through the scone, it was a substantial scone, and if you haven't had a scone, they're dense.
Yeah.
They take up a lot of real estate in your tummy. So, um, I was full by the second tier, but I wanted to make sure I tried the Turkish delight, and I had a bite of the macaron just to try it. So,
Having high teas are a lovely time to just sit and socialize with people that
mhm,
you may not know or that you do know. I take my friends to tea all the
all the
time.
time.
It's such a nice occasion. And it's just kind of a time for you to focus on each other and not stress about the other things that are to come. And I think that that's a lovely tradition that most of our events
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
We are going to definitely have that at every event going forward.
yes.
We had some other fun things that were happening at that tea as
We
well.
did. Our one of our members of our company and one of our performers kind of wear a couple hats that weekend. Hannah of Hollywood, she led a dance tutorial and showed us how to do it was called the teapot
Turn.
turn.
Uh huh.
And so she guided us in how to perform that. And we'll make sure to
Have
show
a
the
little
video as
video.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we
Um,
were able to actually do it at the
do it at the ball.
ball, which
Yeah.
was so great. That was the idea behind it. And
Yes.
then some of the ambassadors came up and were like, "It's time to do the teapot."
I
And
love
I
it.
was like, "Okay." And then we had like four little teapots spinning out in the dance
It's
floor.
the
It was
cutest.
wonderful.
Oh my gosh. Also, going to tea, kind of like we spoke about, in a previous episode in the ball prep, kind of taking those quiet moments for yourself and, preparing yourself mentally for a big event. I think the tea really does serve as that as well. It's just a nice, very low stress, nice, relaxing kind of afternoon that you get to spend with other people who are attending the ball and just have nice light conversation and eat delicious
And take
treats.
lots of pictures
Oh yeah.
and dress for it.
Oh gosh,
I
yes.
have my tea hat on today.
Yes, you
I
do.
wore one of my tea hats that I don't wear very often. And we had a lot of people that were at tea that had little hats on, little
Yes.
cute outfits, and
Gloves.
yeah, the little gloves. I
Mhm.
saw some gloves.
Yep.
And what a fun thing it is. I mean, it just really brings back some of your childhood parties
Little
that you
tea
would have
parties.
with your little teddy bears and your dolls. And,
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to do that as an adult and indulge and enjoy that kind of space.
Yes.
At the tea party, also we did a tarot reader, and she sat in the corner,
Yep.
and she sat at the table with us during tea, but then she sat in the corner so she can give private
Yes.
readings. And her name was Andy, and she
Mhm.
did a great job. Everybody was so happy that that was included in the tea,
Mhm.
and I just think that it was a really fun time for them to experience something different. Then, and some of them, in fact, most of the people at the table had not even had a tarot card reading before.
Yes.
So it was really nice to get that experience. We also offered complimentary tarot card readings at the VIP
True.
balcony
Mhm.
for all of our VIP special guests.
Mhm.
And then we also had tarot available for purchase downstairs that were a little
Yes.
more in depth. So it's just a nice little extra thing that people think is special, and just can make them feel special.
Yeah, I and it's an enjoyable thing. You don't have to go out of your way. It's there for you. So,
Did
and
you get a reading?
I did. I did get a
Oh,
reading.
how
I did get. I
exciting.
did.
That's nice.
Yes,
You'll have to share a little bit more about that with me sometime.
absolutely. I will. Happy to do so.
The next event that we had, do you want to say what that was?
Yeah. So the high tea happened on Friday afternoon. And then we had a pre-party. We're going to talk about that in a second. But we also had the paint and sip. And the paint and sip happened on Saturday afternoon. And this took place at Pieces Game Bar, also Protagonist Coffee Shop. So it's two businesses within the same housing. Beautiful, beautiful building. It used to be a jail,
Yeah.
and
Like
lots of photo opportunities.
old jail, like
Yeah.
1900s old jail.
Yeah. So lots of photo opportunities there. But the people who attended were creating a fairy landscaped canvas painting, and Joy was in attendance there. So
Yeah.
I've actually got some questions for you about it, but I'm going to let you give an overview, and then I'm going to have some questions for you because
So we hired a lovely lady named Leah. She came with all of the supplies, and Pieces and a Protagonist allowed them to bring their food to them. So
oh,
they had their coffee, or they could. Some of them had mimosas.
I love it.
There was this really cute drink that somebody got that had a candy necklace attached to it. It was so cute
So
because the
cute.
Pieces is the game bar, so it
Yeah.
was really cute. And so she had on a big canvas, and then everybody had easels and canvases at their tables.
Okay.
She provided all of the paint, and we had discussed beforehand what I kind of was wanting in
Right.
terms of a picture, and she created a beautiful nighttime around water in a
Uh
forest,
huh.
and there were, like, instead of fireflies, there were little fairies around, so it was really cute.
It was cute.
And we had 12 people that attended that, and
Okay.
they enjoyed it. I mean, we had a couple of men that came out
Okay.
to do it too. It wasn't just all, women. And we had a whole family there, a mom and her daughter and the daughter's husband and grandma.
I
So it
love
was
it.
really cute that she brought the whole, and they didn't do, that was the thing that's beautiful about our weekends, is they weren't able to come to the ball or anything else. They
Oh.
literally just came to the paint and sip because there was
Okay.
nothing like that available for them. And they saw our
Oh.
advertisement, and they had a wonderful time and want to plan to do the ball next year.
Okay.
But it's another way to meet people in the community.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. It took about 2 hours for them to get through their entire painting,
Okay.
and they all had beautiful paintings. We'll make sure that we, show
Yes.
the group picture of everybody in their painting, and what a nice opportunity to meet some people. And I saw several of the people that were at the paint and sip mingling and dancing at the ball,
I
which
love it.
is the whole purpose of
Full
it. And
purpose.
it was lovely. It was a lovely activity, and it was kind of just came to us. we were talking about it in one of our group meetings and
Mhm.
thought, wouldn't it be nice to do something like that? And
Yeah.
it definitely was. And we will, try to continue doing something like that at the events because it really did bring something nice that was different
I'm
to.
glad. I'm glad that it was well received because you and I have gone to Paint and Sips here in Las Vegas. We try to do one at least probably once, maybe twice a year if we can get out
Mhm.
to them. And they're just so much fun. They're,
Yeah.
you're guided through this process, so any skill level is welcomed. Which I'm sure you probably saw there was probably a variety of skill levels.
And Leah was so lovely about that because she would come over and say, would you like help?
Okay.
And they would say yes, or they would say no. And there were a couple that were like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. And
Yeah.
then there were other people like, help me. And
Yeah.
she would, she helped. And it was great. And all of the paintings looked like her painting.
Okay.
There were a few little different things here or there, how
Okay.
they made the fairies, some of the colors looked a little bit different,
Okay.
darker, lighter.
Right.
But by and large, you can tell that they all made the same thing. So
Okay.
that was very cool to see.
That was my other question because I know in our paint and sip classes that we've gone to, there's always like a wild card in the bunch that is just like,
Yeah.
I think we did
The
when we did the
snowman.
snowman.
Yeah.
And then, you know, somebody who was in like an eye shot from us decided to put a beanie on their snowman. Their sky
Yeah.
was pink instead of blue. And we're like, whoa, what is happening over there? And so I was curious if there was any
Nope, I did not see that
no
at
wild cards.
all.
Okay.
I the only thing I might have seen a little bit different is instead of putting like multiple fairies, they just put one.
They're like,
There was-
fun's all I got.
yeah, I think that was the only difference. Everybody just stayed right on course and it looked great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love that so
And I
much.
was very pleased that it also was at the coffee shop
Yeah.
because that coffee shop is so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
Well, the last time we went there when we were looking at the venue, I couldn't decide between they have very unique coffee
Mhm. Mhm.
combinations and I couldn't decide between two of them that I really wanted to try. So I just got them both because I was like, one is a safe bet and then one
It was a wild card.
it was yeah, so
Yeah.
it could have gone either way. Both were great. The one that was a little wild cardy had a turmeric in it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know about turmeric and coffee. It was good. I went with my standard one and that's the one I enjoyed more, but I'm happy that I tried it. I'm happy that
I hit the ground running
I
because it was August 1st, and you know what happens on August 1st in most places? The
pumpkin.
pumpkin
Yep.
slips out. So I indulged and had a pumpkin latte, and it was delightful. And
As
I
you
was
should.
very pleased with my early Halloweening.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's get into the pre-party. The pre-party happened on Friday night. So we're getting into our evening portion of the events that we held. The pre-party was held at a venue called the Crack Fox, also in St. Louis. And we had our resident DJ there, Ashley Bad. She was doing the music. We had some entertainment. You arrived there much earlier than I did. I was still setting up in the ballroom. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that
Yeah. So
that I wasn't there for?
we were actually on the oddity side.
Okay.
So Carrie, the owner of the Crack Fox, also owns the other side, which is Oddities, which is a tea shop and cafe. So they have
Yeah.
some light bites, pizza, sandwiches,
Mhm.
salads, soups. And then they also do high teas there as well. So you
Okay.
can get all kinds of teas and pastries and things like that. And so we got there and there were still quite a few people in the restaurant. So
Uh-huh.
we were like, kind of like, okay, guys, it's time to go. But by the time we opened the doors, everyone had left
Okay.
the room. We had set the room up and kind of transformed it into something that it really isn't, because it's usually well lit. Got a nice uh, you know, places for people to sit and talk and eat. And
Right.
we kind of cleared it out. We made a dance floor.
Yeah.
We removed some of the furniture that was around to like kind of make it more like a lounge and
Lowered the lights.
turn the lights off. The only
Okay.
thing that we had left were like some of the dangling like Christmas lights that she
Oh,
had
yeah, yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, so it looked really nice in there. It's kind of gothy in theme,
Mhm.
which the Crack Fox is a goth bar,
Yeah.
but Oddities has kind of got some more darker moods to it,
Right.
and just a really really nice laid back place. We uh had probably about, I would say, 100 people that
Mhm.
came and attended.
Mhm.
And the cool part about the Crack Fox or Oddities is it has like a little balcony up on the
Yes.
top. And that's where Ashley was. And we normally like to have Ashley on the stage and protected by a, table. We did have some weird stuff happen,
Mhm.
later on in the evening, but it was kind of cool to have a different spot so she could kind of look down, and that
Right.
that made it different. um so up there in that balcony, it was had places to sit, also places to dance.
Mhm.
Incidentally, that's where a lot of our ambassadors
Yeah,
spent their
they
time. They
all
were
kinda
doing,
hung out up there and did some
yeah,
content.
did you
Yep.
see some of the stuff they were
I did.
doing?
I
Yeah.
did. Yep.
Yeah, it was cute to see them, like, getting going and
Right.
doing their content, and I always get fascinated on what's the trend at the
Right.
time, you
Right.
know?
And one of them knows what the trend is out.
Yeah,
And so they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this one." And they're like, "Yep, that one. I've
yeah,
seen it. I know it."
yeah,
Like, and then they just execute and it's just like a whirlwind and you
and
watch it.
usually it's, like, the first time they get it in the first
Yeah.
run,
Yeah.
which is I thought was very impressive.
No.
And it was a dark fantasy attire, so we
Yes.
encouraged people to bring out the blacks and the darker colors.
Mhm.
And they did, and they were really excited about that. A lot of them are not into the darker aesthetics, so
Right.
they said it was fun to step outside of their color and,
Right.
bring in some dark, moody costumes, and it was a lot of fun to see people dress for this event too.
This one, I was pleasantly surprised with how much darkness they really embraced it and they
Yeah.
really showed up. They showed up in full costume, full
Yeah,
dress.
face paints,
Yeah. Yes.
headdresses. We had a lot of it. It was very pleasing.
Yeah.
And we let Ashley be herself. She got to play all of her goth
Yep.
music,
She played
her,
some of my
yeah,
favorites. I
dark
was
wave,
excited.
80s, and that was the plan. That was the plan because we are trying to introduce it in small steps to this community
Yeah.
who is not, real accustomed to the darker sides of the fantasy world.
Mhm.
And so it was really fun to see them kind of dance to it and learn and listen to new stuff that they
Yeah.
hadn't really heard before.
Mhm.
It was they had found out that Ashley and Sophie and myself were from Vampire, and so they were like, "What's the most vampire song we know?" So
Oh, she's like,
requested
"Hold on a
they
second."
requested Dracula, and it was so cute to see them like dancing down there to
So cute.
that. I
So
loved I
cute.
loved seeing that.
They embraced it for
Yeah.
sure. I was happy to see that they got into it.
Yeah,
It was
and they
nice.
said,
Mhm.
like, "We need more of this here, this is a lot of fun and different," and we were very cautious on what that type of style that we were playing at the actual
Yeah.
ball because they're not accustomed to some of the darker things.
Right,
We
right.
sprinkled it in, and, Ashley did a beautiful job
Yeah, she
making a
did.
lot of remixes
Yeah,
and kind of putting a little bit more bass into some of the songs, and
right.
I thought it was very well done.
I
But
agree.
we let her have her full reign on Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to talk about the performance?
So the performance, we had mentioned in the previous episode that this was Amy Amore's last couple performances.
Yeah.
She performed for us on Friday as well, a solo performance. She when I got there, she was just queued up ready to go. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was like perfect timing. And I kind of made my way into the space, and she was kind of just off to the side, already in full costume, already ready to go. And she was just kind of waiting for her moment to be introduced. And man, so talented. Soon as that music started, like she was on. Like, and I fortunately, because of where I was just at the perfect vantage point that it was just like you saw that transformation like right when the music clicked on. And it was such a neat thing to watch. And, she made her way slowly and dramatically up to the stage. And then she just, belly dancing fire. It was just an extravaganza, just showcasing what a talented performer she is. And
And she did it to some like nice, metal
yes.
adjacent. I mean, it was heavy music, and I think a lot of people really dug it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And
They
she
were
did
there for it.
something I've never seen before, which was she had fire antlers. Her
Yes.
her
The
yeah, she had antlers that were on fire, and that was very, very cool to see. I
it
had never
was.
seen that before, and that was a treat. That was a treat.
That was probably one of her creations because I know
Yeah,
she is an artisan as well. So I bet you I would put money that she probably made those.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is definitely a jack of all trades. She
Yeah.
can
I
do
believe it.
a lot of things, and she does a lot of things very well. And
Hmm.
she in the Vampire the Masquerade would definitely be a Toreador for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all the arts.
Yeah, artsy fartsy all the way,
I
and
love it.
just the nicest person.
She was lovely.
Yeah.
She was easy to work with. All of her performers that performed with her on Saturday, same thing, just super easy,
Yeah.
super nice.
We were very, very blessed with all of our performers at the Midsummer Night's Dream Ball. They were all very, very just go with the flow, got their music to us. It was just a really good experience. And
Good
that is
group.
not always the case.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah.
we've had some real nightmare performers.
Divas.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of divas. And even our biggest diva of all, who was Miss Lucy Couture, was an
Oh my
absolute
gosh.
treasure. She
Could
was
not have
so
been a
sweet.
sweeter person.
Yeah, and so just like same thing, go with the
Uh-huh.
flow. We asked her last minute to add in a couple of things about some of the things that were going on. You know, immediately with welcome arms, she did it, and it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. She
very,
was
very lucky and
spectacular.
fortunate. Yeah. So the other part about the welcome party or the pre-party is that same element that Sophie had mentioned earlier, which is getting people familiar with other people so
Mhm.
that when they're at the ball, they're not wallflowers and they're
Yeah.
not scared, and they know somebody.
Yeah.
They
They have a friendly face.
right. They can go out there and have a connection,
Mhm.
and it was amazing to watch so many people at the pre-party connecting with new people.
Mhm.
And like, I'm pretty sure that like some serious friendships were brewing there.
I think so cuz again, they're local or very
Yeah.
close by in the general area. So, building relationships and meeting these new people that they haven't, encountered before, I think is such a great thing. And just
Yeah.
building that, building
They
their
found
community.
a common ground. They
Mhm.
they are interested in this fantasy event.
Yeah.
And that's, breakfast at Tiffany's right there.
Yep.
We still have breakfast at Tiffany's. We still have Midsummer Night Dream Ball. We
Yep.
still have this one thing that brought us together
Yep.
that allows us to connect in other ways and open doors of opportunities.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's a big reason why we do all of the events over the course of the weekend
Mhm.
is we want people to have new experiences,
Mhm.
and we want people to have takeaways of, you know, I got to paint something for the first time,
Yeah.
or I got to listen to goth music for the first time,
I
or
got a tarot card
yeah, I
reading
got
for
it
the first time.
exactly.
Yeah.
I had high tea. I only thought grandmas did that,
Right, right.
lots of experiences, but lots of connections and a lot of people that can connect within their own city, but also
Mhm.
connect without their own city.
Yeah.
Our ambassador, Stacy, who is the model for our event,
Yes.
she is from Ohio, and I'm sure became fast friends with so many people.
Right, right.
And she's so lovely.
Yeah, virtual, like,
Mhm.
friendships, I think, developed too because people that weren't in the area, they made connections and exchanged information to continue those
Yeah.
friendships on after the fact. And I like that it's just there's multiple opportunities for people to make those connections. So, if you went to the tea, if you went to the pre-party, or just to one or the other, you had an opportunity or several opportunities to meet people or meet the same people, over again. So
Yeah.
just really, really nice. And there were obviously faces that were familiar at all of them. That there were some people that just attended every single thing. And
Yes.
I loved seeing their faces over and
And
over
they
again.
and they buddied up
Yeah.
with people
Yeah.
that were at each event, which was beautiful to see too. It's
Yes.
it's nice to see people connecting and having friendships building, and just solidifies why you do it.
Yep. I agree.
It's such a beautiful moment when you're at the ball and you see everybody dancing and their expressions, and they're so happy and they're so exciting.
Yeah.
But what brings me a lot of joy is when they're leaving
Hmm.
and they're talking to people, like, and they're smiling, and they
Yeah.
have this like sense of like, this was awesome and I'm so glad I met you because you're awesome.
Yeah.
Like, they would never have that
Hmm.
if we didn't do
It was
it.
the catalyst to make those things
Right,
happen.
right.
And I think back to how many you have had so many very close friendships develop from
Yes,
events just like this,
yes.
lifelong friends time and time again. I'm like, oh, how did you meet so and so? And way back in the very deep, deep background of the origins of that friendship, there's a ball or there's an event somewhere in there. And I think you are living proof that friendships really do happen and blossom from events like this,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And it really is something to think about and to marvel at, because I've also been at many different events over years where people have met their significant
Uh-huh.
others. They have developed marriages and families, and life has changed for them because they attended an event
Yep,
and took a chance on talking to someone, and it led to something beautiful. And
I agree.
even at some of the events that I've done in the past, we've actually had weddings at the events. Ashley, our
That's right.
DJ, I married them at in New
That's right.
Orleans, and
That's
it
right.
was such a beautiful, beautiful occasion and beautiful thing.
You may or may not know this, but Joy is ordained. She
Yes.
can marry you.
I can
So
also bury you too. I'm just saying.
you got to bring it around to the dark side.
Yeah, that's
Always,
right.
always, always.
Yeah, we had one more event in our full weekend,
Yes.
and this was definitely a special occasion, and we didn't open it to everyone until the very end. And immediately, people bought tickets as soon
Yeah.
as we opened it.
Swooped up quick.
Yeah, tell us about that, Sophie.
So, Lemp Mansion is an estate in St. Louis. And there's a lot of history about the mansion itself. There's a lot of history about the Lemp family that I will get into. But the Lemp Mansion, as you walk up to it, is a beautiful brick house, historic building. And it has a presence for sure when you first walk up to it. It has the iron gates, it has the steps leading up, wood floors, creaky, very old. And you walk in and you immediately, you feel like you are in a place that might just be a little not of this world, right? And so we went on our tour and we had the most lovely tour guide. She was 5 feet tall and as cute as can be. She has been doing tours at the Lemp Mansion for, I think she said, over 30 years. And her name was Betsy. and she was the most lovely tour guide. I don't even know if they have other tour guides, but I felt honored to have Betsy as ours. So I mean, anybody that else that does tours has to be pale in comparison because she was just so great.
Please tell a couple little things about Betsy that you
So
told me.
what did I tell you? I'm
Oh,
trying to think of what I
you
told.
walked into the room.
Oh. So Betsy's a 5 foot tall woman, but she has a presence for sure. And so she's kind of leading us through the Lemp Mansion, through different rooms, and she's telling us stories about the Lemp family and the mansion itself. But as we're making our way to different rooms and up and down stairs, she kind of just stands to the side and waits for the whole group to get through. Well, I was one of the last ones to come through one of the doors to one of the bedrooms. And she was just off to the side like she had been. But as I walked through the door, you know, I was just kind of naturally jumpy being in the Lemp Mansion. So I walked through the door and she's just standing there and she got me. Like I jumped. I don't know if she saw me jump. She didn't address it or anything. I know that I did it. But then later in the tour, again, she was one of the last ones into one of the rooms, and I was kind of over to the side, and she was like, and she did a jump, and she was like, "Oh, you got me," and I was like, "It's okay, because you got me earlier." So we mutually scared each other, and
That's delightful.
I
The
know,
haunted house and like the person giving the tour gets freaked out.
she got spooked
I
too.
love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. So right when the tour started, we're heading up the stairs from where the first floor is where all the tables are where you have your dinner. And then the tour begins upstairs. So we go upstairs and there's this hallway, and at the end of the hallway there are two rooms to either side, and there's a piano, and it is the original piano of the Lemp family. And Betsy immediately sees an apparition of some kind. She's like, "Did you guys just see the figure that just walked from the room to the other?" And everyone was like, "No." Like everybody's head was on a swivel. Everybody was like, she was like, "Yeah, it was, walking at a fast pace, like to get with purpose to get to the other side before, maybe they were noticed or maybe, you know, any living eyes saw them." So right off the bat, she like, now you understand why I was jumpy, because immediately like we're getting like payoff. And I was like, okay, we're already seeing ghosts here. So so Betsy leads us through the house and tells us all the stories. The Lemp Mansion is beautiful, beautiful bathrooms with beautiful windows that have outstanding views of the city, of the churches off in the distance, just gorgeous, gorgeous, and beautiful furniture. And she's telling us the story of the Lemps, and the Lamb family was a brewing family, and they were once the
Like
number one
beer?
brewery,
Like
yeah,
beer.
in the
Okay.
US.
Okay.
And I think she said they were at once in the top 20 breweries in the world, but number one in the US for a time. And then the Lamb family had some tragedy. She said there were multiple suicides on the property.
Wow.
Yeah, multiple suicides on the property. I'm not sure if there were 4 or 5. And there are multiple apparitions that call the Lemp Mansion their home as well. Not all of them are from the suicides. The mother Lemp, I cannot remember her name. I think it was Elsa. She died of cancer in the house. She is one of the apparitions that's there. There's a child that they call Zeke, who is there on the premises, and I'll tell you a little more about him in a second. And then there's another little girl that is not a part of the Lemp family, but an apparition that came out of the 50s at some point when the Lemp Mansion was actually a boarding house for a short time.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And Betsy actually was telling us a story of how she, um, saw this apparition, and based on what the ghost was wearing, assumed the 50s. And so she went and did some research to try to find out what happened to this girl. She could not find anything. She looked for a few months, she said, and couldn't find anything. But she was thinking that maybe because It was not the most up and up boarding house. She said it was kind of a seedy boarding house that maybe there were some.
Swept it under the rug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so, she was unable to find it, but, she, says the little girl's very sweet. She says one of the older Lemp men watches over her,
Aw.
and, calls him, like, "Where is he?" So, yeah, lots of it's an active house, it's an active mansion. The story about Zeke that she told us, it's a little boy. Zeke is his nickname. I believe uh he is one of the Lemp grandchildren or children. But he had some afflictions when he was born. He was not the healthiest mentally or health wise and physically. And so he had the nickname Zeke. He is very playful. People will come and bring him toys and leave them for him. There was one tourist she mentioned in particular where she brought a teddy bear from home. Betsy did, and she put it in this little stairway where he likes to kind of hide out because it's away from everybody and there's a door that shuts. I think it goes up to the roof if I remember correctly. And I want to say it was maybe one of the ghost shows that was there, like Ghost Hunters or something like that. And they got footage of the bear just suspended in air, like
Aw.
like a little kid would do, like, kind of like, swaying from side to side. So, very active house. I didn't see anything, personally, but there was a feel to the house for sure. Lots of goosebumps as I'm going through it. Just amazing stories, though, of the Lemp family, of the history of the house. Just very, very cool place. And if you haven't gone there, and you live in St. Louis or you're going through St. Louis, it is a landmark to see for sure. I
Yes.
would 100% recommend it.
Following the tour, Sophie didn't stay for this part, but
Right.
following the tour, we gave all of the guests dinner, and
Mhm.
so they have a very special chicken dinner that they
Yes.
have, and has all the sides, and they have great desserts, and it's a full bar. So
Mhm.
it's just a nice little like family style
Yeah.
restaurant, and I think that everyone that went really enjoyed
I
just
I think
from
so.
start to finish.
Yeah, I agree. I think everyone that was there, loved it. I think they embraced all of it. I think it was an exciting little add-on to the weekend for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One of the most important parts, as we had mentioned, is just kind of giving some activities. We know that a lot of people are traveling in,
Mhm.
so we want to give them opportunities to do things that are local to that area,
Yeah.
and things that are different than the traditional tourist attractions. The
Mhm.
Limp Mansion is a tourist attraction,
Yeah.
but it is also something that is going to be lower on the tourist list.
Sure.
People are going to look at the arch, they're going to go to the baseball stadium, there's, the river. There's so
Mhm.
many things that people are going to do, and our events are so specific on the type of community that we're trying to target,
Right.
that we try to think about things that we would like to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we try to make sure that there are opportunities for people to participate in extracurricular
Yes.
activities
Yes.
that can be enjoyable for the same type of
Yeah.
genre that we're
Yeah.
interested in. And we'll be doing similar things in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
So
And I can't tell you how many times I heard it multiple times at the London Tea Room, and I heard it also at Lemp Mansion. But people who have always said, like, I've always wanted to come here, and now I had the opportunity
yeah,
to go. And that was nice to hear because, we live in a destination town, and there are so many attractions that you and I have not gone to see,
right.
but they're right in your backyard, and you just never get around to doing it unless you have like family in town or friends visiting. And so I think, even though they're not high on the landmark list, when you travel there, I feel like it checked a lot of boxes for people who live in St. Louis that just hadn't got to do those
That's
things
right.
yet.
That's right. That's right. And it's so funny uh that you mentioned that we live in a destination city. St. Louis is not a destination
It
city.
right.
Unless you're it's a Passover, it's a flyover place.
Yeah.
The Arch is, very popular.
And
People,
beautiful.
yeah, and there's a lot of beautiful things about it,
Mhm.
but that's also what made it so special for us to
Yeah.
be there, is
Yeah.
that they didn't have any big balls, they didn't have any big events, and we really brought something that they wanted and that they were desperate for.
Yeah.
And
Truly.
then was able to facilitate ways for them to have other experiences that they have in their backyard but don't actually do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was all around a wonderful weekend. It was a
Yes.
smashing success. We look forward to returning there next year.
Yes.
We are excited about having a stronger presence there now, since
Mhm.
we've established
Agreed.
the Midsummer Night's Dream and the fantasy community, and connected to a lot of other smaller group fantasy
Yeah.
events, and
Yeah.
have created some friendships with
Some book
them. And
clubs.
yeah,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
book club, that we have an official book club for the St. Louis Midsummer Night's Dream
Yeah.
fall, and we'll go ahead and share that as well, so you can possibly participate in some of their book readings.
I love
They
that.
do live meetups, but they also will include you in Zoom.
Oh, that's
So,
fun.
yeah, I know we had a few of our ambassadors that are not in St. Louis that are now part of the book club.
That's so great. I love
Yeah,
it.
I
I
think
love
a
it.
good book club, really is another way of getting people to come together and
Yeah.
create some connections that they may not have had,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You were in a book club for a while.
I was in a book club for a little while. We were a book club of about 6 people. We each got our turn in picking a book and discussing the book, and then at the end of that first rotation, we kind of fizzled out a little bit, but one day we'll bring it back.
Yeah, yeah, or you'll start a new one.
Or a new one, or
That's
a new
right.
one.
That's right.
So, now taking in the whole weekend, the even the ball, what event stands out to you, either because something special happened there or that it was just your standout favorite, like because of some reason?
I will not mention the ball, just because that in itself was just so much magic, and
Yeah,
I just emotional for me. It was my first fantasy ball of my own,
right.
and brought me just a lot of joy. It was
Yes.
stressful, but the actual event itself, I couldn't have been happier or asked for a better team.
Yeah,
Everybody did a fantastic job on executing what they needed to do.
yeah. They
The
really did.
performers were wonderful. It was wonderful. So it's hard for me to like put the other events over the ball.
Sure,
But
sure.
honestly, I love high tea, but the thing that was the most meaningful to me was probably the pre-party.
Okay.
And the reason being is these people that were attending this event never went to anything like that before.
Mhm.
And like they were excited about the music, they were excited about dressing up, they were meeting new people. It was the first time that some of the ambassadors were meeting for the first
Yes.
time.
Yeah,
And I was just, as I mentioned earlier, just utterly amused and excited about, "Oh, you're gonna do this? All right, let's do it." And they
right.
just jumped right in like they were old friends for years,
Yeah.
and they had just met, and I loved that. And I loved them talking and collaborating and creating content with a stranger who is
Mhm.
now a close friend,
Yeah,
and seeing other guests just sit on the couch and talk and just be part of a community.
yeah,
And I think that had a lot of power for me.
yeah.
and it felt good to see that and to feel that energy and experience, the joy that they had at coming to something like this
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being able to provide that.
And that's really the whole purpose behind it, is that community, that
Yeah.
building that community.
What was your favorite?
It's gotta be Lemp
Oh,
Mansion. It's
yeah.
gotta be Lemp Mansion. It just Betsy stole the show. She was so delightful, and just I love hearing about the history of it. I loved all the haunted stories. I left there just, feeling like I just left Disneyland. Like,
Oh, I love
I
that.
I loved it so much, and it was such just like even though it's a haunted place, it's a heavy place, you're hearing very sad and tragic stories. It was just it gives you an appreciation for life, I think too. But just the atmosphere, and like I said, Betsy, she's just so delightful, so great, such a little I told the manager of the place, I was like, "She is a treasure." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like, so I'm sure she gives him the business all the time. Cuz she's just as cute as pie, like just adorable.
I'm
So cute.
glad you got to do that. I'm glad that some of the other crew got to do that as well too. That
Yes.
was really, I know Ashley and Hell really enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and surprisingly, uh, Nick and Nikki,
Yeah.
they again they lived there forever and they never really did the full
Yeah.
experience, so that was cool for them to be able to experience that too. Well, we are looking ahead. Our next big event is,
It's right around the corner.
yep, Halloween in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And we are hosting a Night of the Dead.
Mhm.
And we are having lots of beautiful, beautiful performances.
Yes.
We are really honoring all of the people that we've lost in our lives.
Mhm.
And it's a celebration. It's a celebration to honor the loved ones. And we are following closely with the Mexican culture of Dia de los Muertos.
Mhm.
It's a little different, but we are still honoring the heritage. We are going to have a very large, large group of performers that will
Yes.
be playing musical instruments and dressed in
Mhm.
masks. And I mean, I think the troupe that we are having is about 30 people.
Oh my
So,
gosh. They were impressive when we
yeah,
saw them. We will tell you more about that. We don't wanna give everything away.
that's right.
But you're in for some spectacular cultural performances, from a lot
And
of different performers.
And it's a different Halloween experience.
Yeah.
We are giving a different costume take. It's high gala, so we want to see the big ball gowns, we want to see the suits, we want to see what you can do.
Mhm.
And, Sugar Skull Strong, we want to see
Yes.
that because we're honoring this is a celebration
Yes.
and it's a happy time. We are sad that we've lost loved ones, but we want to also remember the good
Yeah,
memories. And we'll have an
absolutely.
altar there so people can set things up.
Okay.
And the entire weekend will have little things happening as well.
Yep.
And as we get closer, we'll share and talk a little bit more about some of those events. But we are really excited to
Yes.
put all of our energy and all of our focus to Halloween right
Yeah,
now.
we're
It's our favorite time of
full time.
year.
It is our favorite time of the year,
Yeah.
and we're full speed ahead now onto October. So stand by for all of those fun announcements as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Joy in the Dark podcast. I'm Joy Felicity. This is Sophie Isadora. You can find us on our socials on the Sophie Isadora. I
Yep.
got the
Ah.
part. I'm Joy in the Dark, and then the company is Joy in the Dark Productions. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later.
Bye.